we understand, and the president understands that prices are higher than they've been in quite some time. So you can say it's just a few cents, but it's part of an overall policy. And a few cents here, a few cents there, and pretty soon we're talking maybe $1.
We're talking a matter of cents, literally cents, when it comes to the federal gas tax holiday. States like New York have their state gas tax holiday, if you will, but it's a matter of cents. Does that make that much of an impact when it comes to the price at the pump?
It may not feel like it, but in inflation adjusted terms, gas prices are not at historic highs. Also, one of the great advances in it, if we look at our policies regarding cars, it costs less to drive our car per mile today than it did back then. So it's not quite as expensive as it looks. We understand, and the president understands that prices are higher than they've been in quite some time. So you can say it's just a few cents, but it's part of an overall policy. And a few cents here, a few cents there, and pretty soon we're talking maybe $1.
But in the meantime, as you're crunching the numbers when it comes to Black people there, what are the numbers looking like when it comes to the negative impact of this spike in oil prices on the Black community?
Well, we know that the spike in oil prices is a challenge for everybody. It's particularly a challenge for lower income families, which may not have as much money left over at the end of the month in order to absorb the price increases. So we know that there's a disproportionate impact there, especially for those who are dependent on cars. But these prices, these energy price increases find their way into other goods. Because when goods are delivered, somebody has to transport them and they have to pay for energy costs to transport them. Even in our food, fertilizers often need sources of energy in order to be produced. So energy price increases find their way into many goods. So we know that there is a particular impact on the Black community. The Council of Economic Advisors released an issue brief on Juneteenth, which highlighted the impact of the American Rescue Plan and some of the economic patterns and what happened for Blacks over the course of the pandemic. And while we saw that unemployment came down rather quickly for Black Americans, but even more importantly, what we actually have is employment to population, so employment rates that are higher for Black Americans, both men and women, than before the pandemic. We've seen increases in labor force participation that are higher now than before the pandemic. So all of that is very good news. It means we're going into these economic challenges from a position of strength. We know it's going to be tough for the Fed to bring down inflation and generate a soft landing, which means that there's not going to be a huge impact on our labor market. But we come into all of those actions and this choppy period from a position of relative